the vocals out, now you witnessing a survivor speak. I done messed around and went viral right from my driver's seat. Just like what the industry was containing. I'd rather make a difference instead of hating, complaining. So let me park the whip, it don't matter, rapper or model, chick, singer or comedian, perfect. Let's park in politics. Hey, let's park in politics. Welcome to the pullover, let's park in politics. This the pullover, let's park in politics. I say this the pullover, let's park in politics.
Yes, sir. Parking and politicking on a Sunday, right? Y'all didn't think I was going to come in on a Sunday, but this is a special episode.
Oh, thanks.
This gentleman has things to do, people to see. God damn it, man. He was like, yo, we got to reschedule. I reached out to him. I was like, yo, today? He was like, yeah, let's knock it out today. But I do appreciate you coming up in here, brother, man, and giving me a little bit of your time. Welcome everybody to the Lockout Man Podcast show, where we park and politic with all our guests today. I am your humble host, Lockout Man, with the nice volume on my mic because of the perfume that I got. And then today's guest is my man Ruben.
Hey.
So where do you call home, my brother?
I live in Richmond, Virginia.
Okay. So is that part of the what is it called? Like the DMV or something like that?
Oh, the DMV is stands for DC, Maryland, Virginia. That's more like the Northern Virginia people, where you can go from like DC, Northern Virginia to Maryland in like half an hour. So I'm a couple hours down 95 from that area.
Okay, so how is it up there, man? What's the weather like up there, bro?
Today it's beautiful. It's like high 30s, low 40s, blue skies. It's been pretty crummy the last couple of weeks. Snow and freezing rain. Last weekend we didn't have power for about 18, 20 hours, so it was kind of a pain in the ass. But hey. It's not the end of the world. They turn it back on, so everything's cool.
Now, was you born and raised up in Virginia?
No, I actually grew up in the Pacific Northwest, and then when I was 18, I joined the Army and would like bounce around and I did my time in the Army, and I got out, went to college, and I went to college in Richmond, and I just kind of ended up, when I graduated, I ended up staying for good. So that was, coming up on 20 years. I feel old, making me feel really old.
Well, my ex, well, I guess you can call him my ex brother-in-law because my sister's not married to him no more. But do you still consider them brother-in-laws, even if your people is not married to them?
I mean, I guess if they're cool. If he was an asshole, I probably wouldn't.
Right. So he was in the service, and he was stationed up in Virginia. So Virginia is one of those states is more considered a military state.
Well, Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Suffolk, Portsmouth, there's a really large Navy presence. Fort Lee is just south of Richmond. You got Quantico Marines up closer towards DC. So yeah, there's a pretty large military presence. Obviously the ports, a lot of, I drive back and forth for work to Virginia Beach, and like, I'm always seeing the ships when I'm crossing the bridge tunnel through Hampton Roads.
Okay, that's what's up. What about all right, so you say you rocked out in the Northwest.
Yeah, I grew up in I spent my formative years in south of Seattle.
All right, so you used to the weather pretty much.
Yeah, I was used to crummy weather long before I moved to Virginia.
Okay. So what do you think about what's going on down in Texas right now?
It's unfortunate, but sometimes life hands you lemons, and you try to make the best you can out of it. I mean, I know I've had plenty of roadblocks in my 45 years on this planet. So I mean, you just keep trucking.
Exactly. All right. So what would you do? This is life before trucking. So what would you doing before you got into trucking? You mentioned the military and a couple
Yeah.
of
So I had like what I considered a normal life. Graduated college, went and found a job at an office uh, at a bank. So I spent, 13, 14 years working in banking. I went to graduate school on the nights and weekends, got married, had a couple kids, bought a house, and then I got divorced. And like when I got divorced, like everything just like completely went to shit. Lost my house, lost my car, like everything went bad at the same time. And unfortunately, I had an incident at work with another coworker, terminated, and my ex-wife is like super vindictive. And so when my income went away, like I couldn't pay my child support, and she like went after me instantly. And I went from the judge, and the judge was like, "You need to get a job, or I'm going to put you in jail." And so I was like, "Screw it, I'm gonna go be a trucker." So I've been in trucking for 2 years. Got my CDL January of 2019, and ever since, like I've been all in on trucking. Like
now without going into too much details, because I have my I have my opinion on the court system and family services and stuff like that. When me and my wife, we separated from each other maybe about 5, 6 years ago. Luckily, my son was of age when he was like what, 18, I think, about 18, 19. So I didn't have to worry about too much about child support. But for the few people that I do know about child support, it's hard. I mean,
it sucks.
and I don't understand why the courts make it hard for you guys, especially if you're the ones that's really want to take care of your kids. Why take your livelihood, or why try to take your livelihood of trying to take care of your kid by putting you in jail, and when you come out of jail, you still got to end up
Right. It doesn't make any sense, but there's no point in fighting it because there's nothing you can do. Like you are at the mercy of the courts. And in my case, my ex-wife, who she has all the leverage. So like she has the power, and I just have to roll with it. So we don't get along. We're not friends. We don't like each other.
Wow.
But my kids are safe, and they have food in their bellies. So that's what matters. And I work hard. Like my current job, like I give it my all, and I have to.
She doesn't hinder you from seeing your kids, do she?
Well, with COVID, she kind of does, because she considers me high risk. Being a truck driver, I'm always out in public. So I really haven't seen him much in the last year with COVID. But it's just one of those things. I just suck it up. So there's not much I can do about it.
That's what's up, man. And my prayers is with you. Hopefully things would come back together. So you had a stint in the military. What was life like? What was life like in the military? Did you do the full bid, or you came out early?
I did about 4.5 years. So I did my full first enlistment.
Man, why
I know I'm old.
What was all right? So what happened? Why you just didn't go to full bid, the full 20?
Because I didn't like it. It wasn't my thing. Like I did it. I wanted to get the GI Bill, but I felt like I need to get out and experience life on my own and do something different. So when I joined the Army at 18, it was the right thing for me. All my friends in high school were going to college. whether it was like 4-year or community college. But when I was 18, I was like super immature. I had no goals. I had no desire, I wasn't really getting along with my family. So I felt like I needed to run away from everything and start something. And I figured it'd be a good foundation to build a real life for myself down the road. And it was to an extent, but it also gave me the opportunity to like see things I would have never seen if I just stayed home, went to college. I met a lot of people, and really like the people that I met that had college degrees, I told myself that that's what I emulated. I wanted to have that for myself. So the moment I got out of the Army, I was like, I'm going to college. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to do it. And when I got to college, I went all in on that, and I decided I was going to be as successful as possible. And I finished on time, and I finished my undergrad in 4 years. I took summer school courses. I took night classes. Like, I wanted to prove to myself that I could do it. So I went and got a college degree. And like I said, I had like the whole, wife, kids, house.
What was the degree that you got?
My undergraduate degree is in music education. I decided I was going to be a teacher and teach high school band. And I graduated, and I went and taught school for 2 years, and I was like, forget this. It's not for me. So I was a music teacher for 2 years. And
so let me, before we bounced on the 2-year stint as a music teacher.
Yeah, I know, right? my life story is like pretty bizarre.
I got you. Don't worry about it. It's a life lesson, life learned, life experiences. That's what it is, man.
Right.
But when you went to the military at 18, what was the first day of boot camp like?
It's scary. It is in the middle. The secret to surviving your first couple months in the service and what's called basic training is you want to blend in. You don't want to be the best, but you don't want to be the worst. You want to blend in. You want to be middle of the road, because you don't attract attention if you're in the middle of the road. And my first weekend, I made an ass out of myself. And one of the instructors was like, "Oh, I'm picking on you for the next 2 months." And he did. And I was miserable. So I've always been the kind of guy, like, I learned my lessons the hard way. So once I do something stupid, I try not to do that again. So after that first initial, like, 2 months of basic training, they send you to what's called AIT. And when I went to AIT, like, I kept my mouth shut the whole time. And I remember one of the instructors at the end of my term, he was like, "Who are you? I don't even know who you are." I'm like, "That's the point. You're not supposed to know me." So
what was the routine for you guys? The morning routine.
Oh, geez. In the Army, God, that was like 20 years ago. So old. Well, the first thing you do in the military is, when you get out of bed, is you go to what's group PT, which is physical therapy. You do calisthenics, push-ups, sit-ups, run. That's basically it. Like push-ups, sit-ups, run. And then every 6 months you have to take a PT test to make sure you're not getting too fat and out of shape.
Okay.
So when you first go into the military, you're looking at like 12 to 18-hour days every day. And then once you get out, unless you're deployed, it's more of like a 9-to-5 type job. You just have to make sure that you don't get, too fat and out of shape.
Now, with the military, sort of take some cues as being a truck driver. When you got out of the military, did you experience any type of depression or anything like that?
Well, I was in the Army when Clinton was president, so we didn't have any like major combat events. So I never actually went overseas. I never shot anybody. I just stayed in US and like just did my job. But like I said, when I when I got out, I was like laser focused on finding a part-time job and going to school full time. So that's what I did.
Okay, that's what's up. So now you bounced from the military. You went and did a little stint in being a teacher.
Right.
What was the vibe dealing with kids?
My first year of teaching, it kind of was at an elementary school. I taught little kids general music, and the school had a lot of older staff. So when I got hired on at like 25 to teach music to like little kids, it was right when the movie School of Rock came out. So they kind of looked at me like Jack Black from School of Rock, like the cool new young kind of music teacher that's fun. So I mean, it was cool. The pay was awful. My first year teaching, like the salary was $24,000.
Wow.
And yeah, I delivered pizzas part-time on the weekend, to get by. But yeah, the pay was terrible.
Wow.
This is before I got married and had kids.
And you would think that I get, when I was young, being a student and going to school, I never understood why the teachers did their strikes and everything, and why the teachers did what they did. But as I got older and came out of school, I seen some of the salaries, like, I mean,
yeah, you have to spend like 10, 15 years to reach like $45,000 or $50,000 a year. I just couldn't do it.
I'm looking at this like, oh man, that's nasty. And these are the same guys that's teaching these kids to be. He stepped off for a second. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. Technical difficulties. Hold on right quick. Let me see if I can get him back on the phone. So hang tight while we try to get him back on the phone. There you go. All right. There you go. Whoops. And we're back.
I hit the wrong button. My bad.
But yeah, man, 24?
Yeah, it was bad.
And you guys are the ones that's teaching these kids to be superstars. I mean, they like surpassing the teachers that taught them.
Everyone knows education is underfunded. And when I was in college, I knew that. And I decided, well, I kept telling myself other people are teachers and they get by financially, and I decided that's what I was going to do with myself. And after doing it for 2 years, I decided it was, time to move on. So I did.
Yeah, you said it was. We're done with that, man. We're done with that. So why did you seek a career in trucking? Like, what brought you to the trucking sphere?
So that's actually interesting. After I lost my job I worked at Bank of America for 12 or 13 years, and I lost my job at Bank of America. So immediately I moved back home with my mom and my stepdad, and I was looking for other jobs in banking in the field that I had experience in, and they just weren't, like, nothing good was coming up. So I took a part-time job working like second or third shift at Amazon in a warehouse moving boxes around. And I would get on the interstate. I would drive up and down the interstate at night, to get back and forth to the warehouse. But I'd always see trucks, and on the back of every trailer was "Drive for us, call this number." And I said, Ruben, if you go get a CDL, you'll always have a job. And I was like, it was funny was I was back and forth like, well, nurses always have, this is before COVID. I was like, well, nurses always have jobs. Should I go to school to be a nurse, or should I go to school to be a trucker? And I was like, well, if I go to school to be a nurse, that's going to be 2, 3, 4 years down the road. If I go be a trucker, I could have a job within a matter of months. So I think I decided to go into trucking on a Wednesday, and like within a week, I was enrolled in trucking school. It was that fast.
Okay, that's what's up.
And the inspiration really came from working at Amazon, seeing the trucks. Every trailer had a now hiring sign, and everything we did at Amazon came to us in a truck and left in a truck. And it just, I said, why shouldn't I be on a truck? I said, there's no good reason why I can't do this. So,
that's you make the first guy to be inspired by getting the trust by other means. Usually a lot of people turn around and be like, oh, it's the money. I came in it because of the money, but you actually got inspired just by seeing the fact that you could keep a job as long as you CDLs.
I was tired of getting, I'm tired of not being able to find a job, tired of being fired. I just wanted some stability. And since, I was honestly, the judge scared the shit out of me. When he said, get a job or go to jail, he wasn't kidding.
So when you started the process, did you go to school?
I did. I went to 160 Academy here in Richmond, and I went part-time because I was working part-time on this, in addition to going to trucking school. And I walked in, like, I didn't want to say I didn't have the right expectations. I felt like I was humbling myself by going to trucking school. I was, I had a formal education, and, I had some a successful career at one point, but I was going to give it a shot. And I walked in, I thought it was going to be easy. And like, I really struggled with parallel parking and memorizing the pre-trip. So I actually failed my CDL exam twice, which was super embarrassing. Like, and after that second time I failed, like, I decided I quit everything else I was doing, like on the side, and like just went in on trucking school. So I said, if I'm going to do this, I can't half-ass it anymore. Because that first couple months, it took me 3 months to graduate. So the first 2 months of trucking school, like, I kind of half-assed it because I thought it was going to be easy. So that last month, I quit everything I was doing, and I quit working at Amazon. I had like a work from home job that I was doing that was not working out, and I quit that. So I just went in on trucking school, and then the third time I passed.
All right. So doing the trucking school, being that you was a veteran, so you was able to pay for the trucking school with your GI Bill, right?
Well, I exhausted my GI Bill during my undergraduate time, so I didn't have any GI Bill left.
Oh, okay. So how was you able to finance your schooling?
This is not a happy topic. So
if you don't want to talk about it, that's all well and fine.
No, I firmly believe in keeping things real. I signed a contract to work at CRST from the trucking school. At the time, I did no research. I was like, I'm just going to go all in. So I signed a contract with CRST, and CRST paid for my trucking school. And then after I signed and was going through trucking school, then I started looking into it, which was a huge mistake. I should have researched it beforehand.
You kind of thought that CRST would just pay for it and not want nothing in return, pretty much.
I knew about the 10-month contract. I just didn't research the company. And as I got through trucking school and talking to people on Facebook and Instagram, I'm like, people are coming out of CRST trucking school making $300 a week. Wow. And $300 a week ain't gonna cut it.
Man, and that's going OTR. So
it's right.
So did you drive for them a little bit, or you just took the license and ran?
I'm ashamed to say it, but I took the license and ran. I'm not gonna lie.
No, there ain't nothing to be ashamed about, bro.
It, there's a lot of things I've done that I would like to go back in time and fix or redo, and that's one of them. Because I'm not like proud that I shafted CRST, but I you know, I didn't go to CRST.
So after getting out of after graduating and you got your license and everything, let me rewind. So up until now, how long have you been? Oh, he fell off again. Oh, probably hit the wrong button again. Technical difficulties once again. Hold on, y'all. Oh, here we go. If we can get him back. Oh, there you go. He's back.
I didn't hit any buttons that time. I don't know what it was. So hopefully, do you go back and edit these?
No, we're live.
Oh, we are.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
No. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. My people, they understand that anything can happen live. So
what happened? I graduated on my third attempt to get my CDL on a Tuesday, and it was like, I remember that day because it was 16 degrees in Richmond, and I was frozen solid. So I got my CDL on a Tuesday. I went on the Driver Pulse app the next day and applied at Abilene. And that afternoon, Abilene called me and was like, come to orientation Monday. And I was like, you bet. So I got my license on a Tuesday.
Hold up before we get into Abilene.
Oh, okay.
Hold on before we get into Abilene. So Abilene, so technically Abilene was the first company that you drove for, right?
Right. I've driven for two companies for money, Abilene and Sygma.
All right. So altogether, how long have you been driving for?
2 years.
All right. So within the 2 years, just the two companies. That's not bad. It's not bad. I mean, I talked to some people, they'd be like, yo, I work for A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. I'm like, what? Wait, 10 companies within a year, 2 years? That's a lot of companies. Bro.
I've applied the whole time I was at Abilene. I applied to other places. I was always looking to do something better, different. And so I applied a lot of places. I had job offers in multiple places, but, and the reality is I've just worked at Abilene and Sygma now, which is my current employer.
Now, Abilene, and this is where me and you met. You commented on the Abilene Make the Call video.
Right.
Lot of feedback on that one, bro.
Oh, really?
Lot of feedback on that one, man. But do you remember, with Abilene, do you remember your truck and truck number?
Oh, absolutely. Truck number 20081 was the last truck I drove at Abilene. It was a 2020 Volvo, green. All their trucks are green. And I rode this son of a bitch all over America.
Okay. So you was over the road driver with Abilene.
Yeah. So when COVID hit, I was with Abilene, and I was a trainer. So we were team driving, and that when COVID first broke out and they were like, we were slammed. I was in Groveport, Ohio on a Monday. I'd be in Portland on Wednesday, Los Angeles Thursday, and then back in Richmond on Sunday. It was crazy. We were just hauling ass all over America.
So what, Abilene, when you started there, what were you at the time at Abilene? Was you a company driver or a lease driver?
Oh, I've never been anything besides company driver. I don't really have a desire to be lease or owner op. Right. I'm cool with being company driver.
All right, that sounds like me. That's where I'm at in my trucking career. I'm pretty much stable where I'm at. But you did mention that you was a trainer as well. So how long was it that you was with the company before they asked you to be a trainer?
So I started at my I started Abilene January of 2019. And when I got on my trainer's truck, I told him, I'm gonna do whatever you say. I need this job. I was at my like lowest of low points when I got hired at Abilene. Everything I had been taken away. So like I got to rebuild my life, and I went in. Like I said, I went all in. So I did whatever my trainer said. I'm like, if you want me to stand on my head, I'll stand on my head. So I was just so glad to have a job again, and I remember that now. So I'm constantly telling myself, stay humble, be grateful for what you have, because at a moment it could be yanked away. So I got to Abilene and I drove. I went hard. I told myself, don't turn down loads. They tell you to go to New Jersey, go to New Jersey. They tell you to go to Brooklyn, because one of their biggest customers is Boar's Head, and Boar's Head has a huge warehouse in Brooklyn. I'm like, they tell you go to Brooklyn, go to Brooklyn. So I did.
What was what was it like the first time going to Brooklyn, New York, over the Boar's Head?
It was scary. It is. I remember trip planning for that, and I took out the Google Maps and Google Earth, and I'm like, let me zoom in on this so I can see exactly where the warehouse is. And there's a Facebook group for Abilene employees, and you post, I need directions to get to Boar's Head in Brooklyn, and within 5 minutes, someone's giving you the answer, because everyone at Abilene has been there at least once. So, it's like it's a 4 a.m. delivery, so you're going into Brooklyn at a decent hour for traffic, but you're coming out at 8 or 9 a.m. because it takes them 3 hours. It's a live unload. It takes them 3 hours to get the food off the trailer. So you're coming out of Brooklyn at 8, 9 in the morning, and it's just bananas.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is the DC small, huge? What's the size of the DC here?
It's a big warehouse, but the roads going into it and out of it are not. And and you roll up in your 53-foot trailer at 4 a.m, and there's 20 or 30 straight trucks lining up, waiting to get loaded to take the meat and cheese out to the different distribution centers in New Jersey and New York. It's pretty intimidating, but even now, when I'm in a situation where there could be trouble, I tell myself, don't panic, slow down, take your time. Because in trucking, as anyone that's ever driven a truck knows, if you panic, you're screwed. You're gonna make a huge mistake. You're gonna hurt yourself. You're gonna hurt the equipment, or even worse, hurt somebody else.
Exactly. And you took it, and you just basically take your time with just about everything that you do. That's what I say. I say, like, if you see a situation, don't panic, just get out,
right,
walk around, survey the situation.
Exactly.
If it's something that's that you can't do, I would suggest, like, if it's a place that they send you to and you're not able to back up into the dock or something like that, maybe ask for help or whatever. If they got a yard guy, maybe see if you can drop the trailer and see if the yard guy could take it and put it in. I mean, there's a lot of scenarios, but the last but not least is probably call your fleet manager back and be like, look, bro, I tried everything. I tried everything, and I just can't do it. And maybe you're just gonna have to send somebody over here with a little bit more experience than me, or somebody that been here before that knows what they're doing, because I just can't do it. So, but yeah, that's what I would suggest all the time. Let people know that they got options, and being the new driver, they get all freaked out. How did you
So I started Abilene in January, and I drove all over America, as a solo OTR driver. They started talking to me about being a trainer in November of 2019. And then in January of 2020, I'm sorry, I get my dates wrong.
There we go again. There we go. I'm back in a little bit. There you go. All right.
I swear I'm on Wi-Fi. So
you know what? That's probably might be the issue. Your Wi-Fi probably going in and out.
yeah.
That's what it's
So
probably.
I got my dates mixed up. I started Abilene January 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. And then by November, they started mentioning to me becoming a trainer. I thought, okay, well, cool, maybe make some more money. And then I found another job. I found a job at Martin. I was going to go run reefer for Martin Transportation. It was going to pay a little more, get me home every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And so I gave notice at Abilene, and they were like, don't leave. We'll make you a trainer. So about 2 months after they first started talking to me about being a trainer, in January of 2020, I became a trainer, and I was like, screw it, we're going to do it. And honestly, I didn't feel like I was ready, but I decided I was going to give it a shot. I was going to try it and see if I can make it work. And I made mistakes just like everybody, but I was pretty good at it. And I met some cool people. If you're a felon, like, Abilene's the place to go. Abilene will hire just about anybody with a CDL, regardless of your background. It's a good place to go to get a second chance on life. Because I mean, that's what, I'm not a felon, but when I got hired there, I need a second chance at life, and that's what they gave me.
All right, so Abilene, the good, the bad, and the ugly, man. I mean, what? Now you heard the Make the Call video. You heard me talking to the
West Memphis,
and I believe I was talking to the one in West Memphis. So
right.
Yeah, a lot of people had some feedback about that particular recruiter. But you coming up, you stepped away from CRST, but you got with Abilene.
Right.
How did you find out about Abilene?
When I was in trucking school, a former trucking school student from 160 came and was telling us about it. And I only lived like 15 miles from the terminal. So like, it was a perfect fit. I needed a job. They needed someone to deliver meat and cheese for Boar's Head. And they gave me a shot. And I made a lot of mistakes, a ton. And they never fired me. They're just like, here's another load. Rid up a couple, scratch a couple trailers, get written up, whatever. Here's another load. Like, the CPMs are kind of low. They start you off at 40, and you get a penny raise every year as long as you stay. But if they catch you in a drive cam playing on your phone, they're not going to fire you. They're going to like send you a text message and say, "Don't do that again."
You said they're not going to fire you.
No.
So they got in and out cameras.
Oh yeah.
Some of that is like a big deal to some drivers. Some of it is like a deal maker as well. I
hate the interior driver cam, but I understand why it's there. My current company has a zero tolerance policy. If they catch you on your phone, you're gone. Doesn't matter how good you are at your job, you're gone. So I don't touch my phone when I'm driving now. It's like gone. In fact, a couple weeks ago, like, our top driver in our domicile, what they call our branch, our top driver, the guy who made the most money last year, can text on his phone. They do like zero tolerance. You don't get written up. There's no free chances you're out. You're gone. So Abilene is a forgiving place. I was
tell us a little bit more about Abilene.
Sometimes you get 3,000 miles a week, but then sometimes you get 2,000 miles a week. It really depends on your DM. If you work hard, you're more likely to get the miles. If you prove that you're dependable, you're likely to get more miles. They don't be the guy that dispatch calls at 6 a.m. to wake up out of sleeper berth. Like, get out of the sleeper berth on your own. Be an adult. It's one thing I like about trucking is, we're not micromanaged for the most part. You get a load, you get a delivery time, make it happen. So Abilene, they're going to let you idle your truck all the time. They don't care. You don't get APUs. There were times where I'd leave my truck on for 2 weeks. The only time I turn it off was to get diesel. They don't give a crap about idling. They don't give a crap about where you get your fuel. You just drive the truck, don't hit anything, and be on time.
That'll work, man. That'll work. So what about so you did say something about micromanage. Do they micromanage you though? Like, I mean, do they force you to do things that you feel that you don't think you should do with the company?
I had a pretty good relationship with my DM. If I was uncomfortable, I would just tell him. I wanted to be dependable. So when they said we have a load to Brooklyn, I wouldn't turn it down. I would take it. Luckily, I didn't have to go very often, but I wanted to be a guy the company could depend on. So I tried my hardest to accommodate their needs, but just, trying to figure out what they're not going to tell you what truck stop to go sleep at. They didn't. If I had a load to Los Angeles, I would wake up at 4 or 5 a.m. and drive because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make sure I could shut down early and find a good place to park for the night. So they would give you a load, and everything that happened between the delivery and leaving the terminal was up to you. So that I did like that aspect.
What were some of the things at Abilene that you didn't like?
Abilene's two largest customers are Boar's Head. They make meat and cheese for grocery stores, and a company called Hill Phoenix. Hill Phoenix makes grocery store coolers. So when you go to Walmart and you go get your frozen pizza and your ice cream, you pull it out of a Hill Phoenix cooler.
Okay.
The Hill Phoenix coolers, they were never allowed to be delivered late. Abilene would go through hell and high water to make sure that a Hill Phoenix load was delivered on time. So because of that, we had to bend over backwards for Hill Phoenix all the time. They usually had early morning deliveries because you're delivering grocery store coolers. It was most of the time they would be delivered to
closed,
like new construction sites. So let's say you're building a grocery store. It's going to be a construction site. So you're going to have like large areas of dirt. There's no pavement. There's a lot of construction equipment. So that makes it a little bit rough. Or sometimes you wouldn't have a street address because there is no street address. It's a construction site. So you use Google Earth and Google Maps and you make it happen. So the Hill Phoenix loads were kind of a pain in the ass, but they were like huge profit generator for the company. Boar's Head and Hill Phoenix, keep Abilene in business.
Okay.
They also run the spot market, and you take, broker loads, of course, but they bend over backwards for Boar's Head and Hill Phoenix, and that sometimes would be the detriment of the driver. But nothing in trucking is perfect. It's a balance.
Now, before you got with Abilene, and of course you ran away from CRST,
right?
But before you got with Abilene, what was you doing to look for the comp? I mean, what you was looking for in the company before you got with Abilene?
I wanted somewhere where I could just make some money and pay my child support, and I didn't want to be on the road for 2 months at a time. So that was really, I just want to make some money and not be on the road for 2 months. So,
there we go. Yeah, he popped back out again. What's going on, Highway Kirk? Justin, what's going on? Mona, how you feel? His Wi-Fi pops. His Wi-Fi pops in and out. That's why. That's why.
Sorry about that.
No, don't worry about it. You good? You good?
Do we have a good amount of viewers? I can't tell.
Yeah, well, we got about I don't govern that many people, but the people that's in here so far is they pretty much interested in the information.
Okay, cool. All right. So What was the question again?
What you was looking for in a company when you got with Abilene?
I was just looking for a shot. I was desperate to work, make some money, and Abilene was exactly that, is a place to start and make mistakes and not get fired. And my trainer even told me that. He's like, while you're at Abilene, make all your mistakes here. That way you don't make them when you go to your next company.
Exactly. So tell me, what was the training process when you got there after you graduated out of the school and you went to Abilene, and of course you trained with them. What was the training process like there?
I spent 5 weeks with a trainer. It was the same guy the whole time. I was really fortunate to get a trainer who'd been driving for 40 years. You know, sometimes you get a trainer that's been on the road for 6 months. My trainer had been driving for 40 years, and that guy was a machine. He'd get behind the wheel and like he could bang out 18 hours straight. It was crazy. And I don't mean I mean actual 18 hours. He would log in as me and then drive for me, and then log in as him and drive his entire 11 hours. We crisscrossed America like 4 times in 2 weeks. It was pretty nuts. Since we both have passports, we actually went to Canada for one load.
Okay.
We took a HP Hewlett Packard load from Los Angeles to Toronto one weekend. Like we hauled ass. We went back and forth on I-10 from like Dallas to Los Angeles, went to Toronto, went to Billings, Montana, Spokane, Washington. Like we like hauled ass all over this country.
What was Canada? What was getting into Canada like?
Getting into Canada is surprisingly fast. This is like way before COVID. It took us like 15 minutes to get into Canada. Coming in is a little bit more of a pain in the ass. You have to like get out of the truck and walk into a building and like fill out forms, and you pay them like $20, some kind of like fee that goes to the government. So it's a pain in the neck, but it's not terrible.
Okay. So back at Abilene, they asked you to be a trainer. How many people you trained while you was at Abilene?
Probably 10.
10?
I think 10.
10.
I have some of them. I had for like a month. Some I'd have for a week. So wow. It was a little bit inconsistent. So like I'd have a student for a month, and then he'd get his own truck, and then I'd be by myself for a couple of weeks, and they give me another student. I'd have that student for a couple of weeks. So it was like hit or miss.
Wow.
But I probably had between 8 or 10 students over the course of 2020.
Okay, so let's box that for a second. So, being a trainer, what did you have to go through to become a trainer? What did they offer you to be a trainer?
So I don't know if things have changed since I left. I got paid 40 cents for every mile the truck ran, whether I was driving or my trainee was driving. And then they gave me $500 a week bonus. So as long as I had a student for a minimum of 3 days, I get a $500 bonus on top of the miles. So the pay was actually pretty good. It was a huge step up for me financially becoming a trainer when I had a student. When I didn't have a student, I was back to my 40 cents a mile, which kind of sucked. But I met some really cool people training, and I felt like I was really doing something. Like I was not just delivering goods, but I was like helping someone learn a skill so they could make money for their family.
You wasn't one of them trainers that cared about the money. You pretty much cared about the drivers and what you could teach them.
I tried really hard to be a good trainer because I didn't want to be a horror story. Because you go on YouTube, if you Google search, or do a YouTube search for bad trainer, there's a million bad trainer stories, and I didn't want to be that guy.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And I made mistakes,
and they all
without question. But I tried, to own it when I did make a mistake. and leave my students in a position where they felt comfortable get behind the wheel and making a good income.
And they all come from Prime.
And they all
oh man. Bad trainers all come from Prime. I'm just
that's doubtful, but there are a few bad Prime videos on YouTube.
All right, so that's the one box. The other box I wanted to talk about, what was the experience, the good, the good and the bad. Can you remember maybe a good session with a trainer, and what was a potential bad session with a trainer or a trainee?
Well, all the students I had, out of the 10, 9 of them were male. I had one female trainee for 3 days, and that did not work at all. Having a female trainee was not working for me or for her.
Now, was that because of attitude issues, or she wanted a female trainer and didn't and got you instead? I think it was a little bit of both. Okay.
A lot of it was attitude. A little bit of it was the fact that I wasn't a female. Before she got in the truck, I'm like, if you need to go to the bathroom, just let me know. We'll pull over and find a spot so you're not like peeing in a tree. But it didn't work, and I got chewed out. It was just not a good experience. And I said, you suck it up as a learning experience. You learn good things, you learn bad things. So she got off the truck. They gave her to a female trainee and a female trainer. And as far as I know, she's still with the company. So that's good for her. There's no hard feelings. It just didn't work for the two of us.
All right. What's going on, Jarrell Barnes? He has a question for you. He says, does Abilene do team driving and training, or is it just the student driving?
It's supposed to be what's considered like super solo or solo, where the trainee does. The idea was, have the trainee do 450 miles a day and then shut it down. But sometimes we would get like hot loads that we had to bang out 1,000 miles. So anytime I had a hot load where I had to bang out 1,000 miles, I would have the trainee do like 400 or 500 off first, and then they would go to sleeper berth, and then I would bang out the rest.
Okay.
So it's not supposed to be team. Sometimes it became team just out of necessity.
Okay.
Meet the customer's needs, but it's not supposed to be team.
All right. So with Abilene, it sounds like you had a pretty good experience with Abilene. Why did you leave?
I wanted like a normal schedule, predictable schedule, to be home more. Like anyone that's ever driven OTR, like in your back of your head, you're like, eventually I want to do something else. So I had a shot at food service, and I went in. I just said, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to try it out and see if I can make it work. And I work at Sygma, which is fully owned by Sysco. Everyone's heard of Sysco. Mm-hmm. I deliver food to Panda Express and Texas Roadhouses all over Virginia. It's a hard job. I've dropped 40 pounds in 6 months, which is a good thing. And they're paying me a really good wage. My kids have really good health insurance. I have good health insurance. I'm pretty blessed. All the bad things that I've done, all the bad things that have happened to me, like, have kind of led me to this point in my life where things are actually pretty good. Now, I have a woman that loves me. I have a roof over my head. My fridge has food. Like, what more could I need?
There you go. Now with Sygma, now that you got with Sygma, what was it? How did you come to get with Sygma?
I saw a Facebook ad, and I just filled out the little questionnaire on Facebook, and then had a week later had a phone interview, and then 2 weeks after that I was in orientation. So
so this is a company. This is a local company. Now they say, a lot of drivers out here say that there's no money in local. Can you debunk that?
There is money at Sygma if you're willing to work your ass off. I make consistently $1,500 a week gross.
Ain't bad.
Right. I work
home every day.
I'm home 5 days a week. So
and all weekends?
No, I work weekends.
Oh, you work?
Yeah, it's a standard work shift at Sygma is 10 to 12 hours. It's all nights and it's 4 shifts a week. So I work Monday nights, Tuesday nights. I'm off Wednesday night. I work Thursday night, Friday night, get home Saturday morning, and I'm off again until Monday night. I'm going in tonight because I picked up an extra shift. So I'll probably make 2,000 this week working five evenings.
Bro, they saying it ain't no money in loco.
You got,
and you already with tonight. You $2,000, bro, and that's before taxes or after taxes.
That's before taxes. That's gross.
So you still looking like you, even with 1,500, you looking at about 1,300, and with 2,000, you got to at least be looking at about 1,700, 1,700.
And I'm not making this stuff up, but you have to be cool with working your ass off. So it's all, they give you a trailer with 1,300 cases on it. And over the course of 2 days, I hand unload every single case onto a hand truck, and I run the hand truck down a ramp, and I put it in a restaurant freezer, and then I just do that over and over again.
Hold on for a second. I think my video just went out. Hold on. Yeah. Give me a second, y'all. My video just went out. Hold on. Ugh.
Uh-oh. Can you still hear me?
Hold on. I got you. Hold on. All right. First thing first, we should be good. Yep, there we go. Sorry about that. My camera just conked out. I had to reset. Man, bro.
If you're willing to work,
you have to put in the work though. For real.
Yeah, I routinely pick up 90-pound boxes of steaks, put them on a dolly, 6 high, and run it down a ramp and put it away in a cooler at Texas Roadhouse. Like, this is a normal thing. I do it every night. A typical day is picking up 700 boxes and putting it in a restaurant.
Wow, man. Yeah. And you're home every day. You're off. You got your off time that you could still put work and life balance.
Right.
But in order to make that money, you do have to put into work though.
Yeah. It's not easy. Can constantly sore. My legs, my arms, my chest. I'm always got an ache of some kind. Bruises here and there. I dropped a bucket of pickles on my ankle a couple nights ago. It just, it's a hard job.
So Sygma is not for the faint of heart, though.
It's not a job for sissies. That's what I tell my wife.
Exactly.
Right. And that's okay. Someone's got to do it. Might as well be me. And was like the top driver last year at my department that worked where I go to work made $123,000. He showed me his pay stub.
Wow. So guys, there is money in local. Just saying. You just have to work hard for it though.
I'll probably do 80,000 this year.
Wow, that's good money right there, bro. Man. So with Sysco, how do you have to be? What's their requirements to getting in there?
Just have a CDL. That's it.
No, they don't need they don't need 2 years of experience or anything like that.
Not where I work. You just have a CDL and not have a long record of going to jail, and like you're in.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
And a lot of, when we get new trainees, that most don't make after the first month. So a lot of people come to Sygma, and within the first month they quit.
Wow.
Because it's not easy, and picking up 700 cases a shift and putting it on a dolly and running down a ramp it's not easy. So, but if you in the first month, I thought I was going to quit 17 different times. But I told myself that I wasn't going to quit.
You see that check. That's what you
yeah. And while you're in training, you work 4 nights a week and they pay you $8.50. So for training pay, that's not bad.
Yeah, you seen that paycheck. That's why you was right. Like, no, I'm not quitting. Right. Oh man. So how long has it so 2 years altogether, right?
Yep. Got my TDL 2 years ago.
All right. So you've been with Abilene for the longest, and you gave us a little bit of good, the bad. But what about the ugly though? Well, what about the ugly side at Abilene or at Sysco, if any?
The ugly at Abilene, there's a little bit of an old boys network. Not everybody gets the best miles, the best loads. Abilene is owned by Knight, who also owns Swift. Everyone knows that. There's a lot of drama in the dispatch office, but my experience at Abilene was largely positive. It was not perfect. It wasn't easy. But nothing worth having in life comes easy.
All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. What about Sygma? Anything ugly over there? I would assume not.
A lot of bruises. A lot of body aches, but no. The phone policy sucks, considering our best driver got canned 2 weeks ago. But like I said, I'm pretty blessed to have a job, and I remind myself that all the time. But I really don't have anything terrible to say about really Abilene or Sygma.
So with Sygma, is Sygma salary or CPM and what
it's actually called component pay. So there's 3 ways to get paid every week at Sygma. Well, 4 if you count. There's also it's called an activity base, which is a bonus based on how many boxes you scan. You're not like messing up, breaking jars of mayonnaise. If you do break a jar of mayonnaise, like they don't care. You just have to like report it, and then they give a credit back to the restaurant. Like you don't get written up for breaking mayonnaise jars. So the 3 ways to get paid at Sygma is miles. It's like 50 cents a mile. You also get weight pay. So for every 1,000 pounds of food you pick up, you make $14.60. And there's also stop pay. So the more stops you have, it's like $4.50 a stop. So a typical shift, I'll have like 5 or 6 stops and do 20,000 pounds and drive, like 150 miles. So on a typical trailer, I'll make, $750 a trailer. Okay. And then do that 4 times a week, make $1,500. Hey. And then I'll make 2,000 this week because I picked up a shift.
Exactly. So what about driving to these restaurants, and what's the what's your backing situation in some?
I don't have to bump any docks, which is nice, but I do have to navigate a lot of really small parking lots. Luckily, we only run 48-foot trailers. There's no 53-footers. So there's some really small parking lots. I went to a Wendy's yesterday. I was attached to a gas station, and it's just ridiculous how little the parking lot was. But we're still it's a day cab, which is helpful. So got a 48-foot trailer, you have a day cab, which is nice. But at the end of the day, you still have a 13.5-foot trailer you're trying to navigate through a gas station, that's meant for cars.
Not all this is at night. right? You drive nights, right? So it's a lot easier. Is it a lot easier at night than it
Oh
is?
yeah, for sure. Unfortunately, this Wendy's I went to was at the end of my shift, so it was like 7 in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning on a
Oh,
Saturday. People were zooming in out of the parking lot of the gas station, and I was pulling out, and there were cars, and I threw on the brakes and got out to make sure it wasn't going to hit the overhang of the gas station pumps, and people were waiting for me to move. But you know what? I don't give a shit, because if I hit that overhang, I'm
yeah,
going to get fired,
exactly.
and they can wait for 5 minutes so I don't lose my job. So even though I've been to this restaurant before, I got out of my truck and made sure that I wasn't going to take out the overhang at the four-wheeler pump.
All right. So with Abilene and Sysco, now that we're talking about both of them, what should new people what should the new people be doing to prepare for a trucking position with either Abilene or Sysco, or Sysco, right?
The one thing I tell everybody, including myself, all the time is humble yourself. That is the most important lesson in life you'll ever receive. Humble yourself. Don't think that you're too good to do something for a check. Don't think that you're too smart to learn something new. Always humble yourself. I wish I would have humbled myself 20 years ago, but everything I've gone through has like taught me this lesson. Oh, you're not better than anyone else just because of where you came from. We're
What
all the same.
what's your now with Sysco? I'm saying it right? Sysco?
Yeah, Sysco is the parent company. Sygma is
Oh,
the
Sygma.
company that signs my paychecks.
Okay, so Sysco.
Yeah.
You guys is doing like hard work. What's your opinion? And it's only our opinion, but the ladies is coming into this industry, and they could just rock out with the best of us. Do you think with the hard work of Sygma, you think a lady will be able to be successful there?
We don't have any female drivers in my domicile. I haven't met any female drivers. If a woman wants to come to Sygma and do the job, more power to her. I don't give a crap who you are. If you want to do the work and lift cases and put French fries away at Wendy's, good for you. If it's I don't give a crap where you come from or what you're doing. If you can do the job, great. I got no problem with female drivers, whether you're OTR, local, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, as long as you're out there earning an honest living and not selling your booty pics on OnlyFans, good for you.
That's what's up. So let me rewind before we get up out of here. But first, I would like to thank you for taking the time out and coming on and chopping it up with me, man. Thank you very much.
This has actually been pretty cool. I honestly believe everyone has a story. You have a story. I have a story. I feel kind of cool that you want to hear my story.
That's what life before trucking is all about, just
right.
networking with you guys. And I just love, to hear y'all stories, your back stories from where y'all came from to where y'all at right now. What rewinding all the way back, it's a two-parter. Going all the way back when you got your license and you found out about CRST, but when you got with Abilene, how did you get over your fear of trucking, of driving?
I kept telling myself over and over again that I can't allow myself to fail because I have no backup plan. I don't even have a backup plan now. If I got fired from Sygma now, I don't know what I would go do next. I'd probably just go get in a truck for somebody else. But when I got on my trainer's truck, I said to him, I'll do whatever you want me to do because I can't afford to not make this work. Right. I can't afford, because if I do, the judge is going to put me in jail for not paying my damn child support. And I told myself I was never going to go to jail. So you get over the fear by reminding yourself that you have to make it work. If it was worth having, it wouldn't be easy.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And that's one to grow on, everybody. What, in your opinion, what is the hardest part of being a truck driver?
That's a hard question because there are a lot of aspects of this job that are pretty hard. Backing is a challenge, but like the technical, actual driving aspects of the job, I feel like aren't as hard as like the mental aspects of it. Trying to figure out where to park at night, being cool with being in a new city every single morning, being away from home all the time. The mental aspect of the job to me is harder than the technical aspects, like button hook corners or doing an alley dock. Anybody can learn to do that stuff, but not anybody can deal mentally with like being away from home and making decisions is insignificant as like where to park at night.
Exactly. Ruben, everybody. Brother, man, I know you gotta go and get some sleep in. So I'm gonna go in and let you go so you can go in and get that and get ready for this $2,000 paycheck next week, bro. Yeah. Thank you very much for coming on and chopping it up with me, man. Anytime you want to come on, just reach out to me and we'll make it happen.
All right. Oh, no problem, man. That's a great invitation. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man. So you go in and have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Get ready for the night, and I'm about to go ahead and end the show. You take it easy.
All right. Thanks, man. Have a good one.
All right. Now you be easy, bro.
Bye-bye.
And that's going to do it for the Lockout Man Podcast show for today on a Sunday special edition. Mr. Ruben came in. He gave a lot of good information about both Abilene and Sygma. Sygma? I'm going to say Sygma. I know it's the parent company, but the biggest key that I took away from this is that, bro, there is money in local. Okay, don't let look here. I talk to many people that are fans of OTR and that are fans of local driving. Now, some people that has done local driving hasn't been successful. And then some people, let me put it to you this way. Some people had success in local driving, and then some people had success in OTR. When you come out of OTR and then get into local, you might not have the same success. Just like if you was local and you went into OTR, you might not have the same success. But don't let people tell you that, number one, you have to go OTR to get experience to just go local. That has been debunked plenty of times that has been debunked. You don't have to go OTR to eventually go local. You can find a local job right out of the gate. And then another thing that has been debunked plenty of times is that, yes, there is money to be made in local. But like he said, you have to work for it. Just like if you was to do the dollar accounts at Warner, at US Express, at Swift, in order to make that good $1,500, that $1,500, $2,000 money, you have to work for it. You have to work for it. That's another thing that I've been seeing too. A lot of us drivers just like to drive from point A to point B, and they content with that. I'm just saying. But if I want to get out there and start making that kind of cheese that they making, then I'm going to have to get out there and put in some work. That's what I'm saying. Teddy the trucker backing and dealing with the rain and wind and steep downgrades. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the work, bro. It's not for the faint of hearted. So again, 2 things today has been debunked. Number 1, there is money in local. And then number 2 is that you don't have to go OTR to go local. I'm just saying. Well, I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you very much. Kurt, thank you, bro, for letting me know that the text wasn't working. I don't know what YouTube, man. I don't even, to be honest with you, it don't even bother me no more. You know what I'm saying? So I just pop on. Whoever comes up in here, rocks with me, I appreciate it. For the 80 of you guys that's all the way that made it all the way to me to the end, you know what I'm saying? Y'all got the lights up, so I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? It's 8 of y'all. I got 10 lights, so that's cool. 10-to-8 ratio. Thank you very much. If you guys like content like this and more, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, hit the bell and the all button, and rock out with your boy. If you want to join the community, you can do that. It's only $1.99, and you can hook your brother up with some coffee all the time. Information on top of information on top of information. And y'all know where I'm going with that, right? I really don't need to go nowhere farther with that. So again, I do appreciate everybody being here. I do want to give a shout out to for Ruben for coming in and chopping it up with us. And shout out to all the other trucking guys that's giving out information. The Cigar Boss, DSS Trucking, my man Trucking Hustle, and the rest of the guys that's out here that's giving up good information for new guys, or good information for guys that just want to hear it. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you very much. Until next time, everybody, I will leave you with my guy.
This your year, get it in. Yeah. Party over here, get it in. Yeah. She like a liquor clear, get it in. Yeah. She get it from a deal, get it in. Yeah. Make it disappear, get it in. Yeah. Park it in the rear, get it in. Yeah. Now make it reappear, get it in. Freaky with no fear, get it in, yeah. Pop it in the clutch, girl, get it in gear. Jump on it, double dutch, girl, get it in gear. Drop it, double clutch, girl, get it in gear. Pump it up, butt lift, now downshift.